ഹലോ ഗൈസ്, ഹായ്, വെൽക്കം ടു സ്ട്രീം. ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് കുറച്ച് ലേറ്റായി എന്നറിയാം, സോറി ഫോർ ദാറ്റ്. കാരണം ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ വീട്ടിലെത്തിയതിന് ശേഷം ഐ ഗസ് ഒരു 1.5 മണിക്കൂർ മീറ്റിംഗ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഞാൻ സ്റ്റാറ്റസ് അയച്ചില്ല, ഞാൻ സ്ട്രീം കഴിഞ്ഞ് അയക്കാം. എൻ്റെ ഇപ്പോൾ കഴിച്ചിട്ട് വന്നതേ ഉള്ളൂ. സോ അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് സ്ട്രീം ഒന്ന് ലേറ്റ് ആയത്. സോറി ഫോർ ദാറ്റ്. എനിക്കിനി കാണുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ. ബട്ട് എനിവേസ്, ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ കുറച്ച് നേരമായിട്ട് എനിക്ക് സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല, കാരണം തൊണ്ടയൊക്കെ ഭയങ്കര വേദന, എൻ്റെ നാവൊക്കെ പൊട്ടിയിരിക്കുക ക്ലൈമറ്റ് കാരണം. സോ കുറവായിരിക്കും പൊതുവേ. ആൻഡ് ഫോർ ഇന്നത്തെ ടൈറ്റിൽ എനിക്ക് വേറൊന്നും പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് പറയാനില്ല. ഐ എം ജസ്റ്റ് ഹാപ്പി. സോ ഫോർ ദോസ് ഹു നോ ദേ നോ, യെസ്, ഐ എം വെരി ഹാപ്പി ടുഡേ. സോ യാ, അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. എനിവേസ്, continuing on with the stream. Okay, ഞാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ നോക്കട്ടെ. Do I have anything to watch? In the morning.
Everyone is sick of social media gym girls. Apparently, an American woman has actually gone over to Greece and is complaining about the lack of black people at the gym. This is so dumb, it actually reads like parody. Okay, so here we have her tweet. I'm the only black member of the gym. The other 3 black people are cleaners, so they probably think that I should be cleaning too. Note that absolutely no one said anything of her. You'll hardly ever find a black person with any other job except cleaning, and most are college educated. Not that cleaning is a bad job, but damn. And then obviously we got the classic gym girl selfie there. You can't make a tweet without the classic gym girl selfie. Okay, so we got like a million things to talk about here about how actually stupid this tweet is. Number 1, Greece is not a racially diverse place at all. It's not like America where majority gonna be Greeks. So here we have the racial breakdown. Greek is the main ethnic group, consisting of 98% which comprises the Turks, Albanians, Macedonians, Bulgarians, Armenians, and Jews, among others. So if Greek makes up 98% of the population, okay, and the other 2% isn't even black, the amount of black people you see is obviously going to be significantly less than in America. So obviously, by proxy, okay, it's not a thing on like black people don't go to the gym. It's a thing on there's less black people in general, which is why you're seeing less black people at the gym as well. Most of meaning 98 or 99% of the population is one race, okay? Especially like if you come to Asia or something like that. Some Americans may have a sort of skewed view of the world because all of their media and pretty much any like movie you watch nowadays, there will be tons of like people of different races and not just white people, right? So that's why they'll think that everything else is equally racially diverse, when that's not really the case.
Oh, what the fuck?
She also talks about how the only 3 black people in the gym were cleaners, that everyone is gonna think that she should be cleaning too. Well, that's not the case, obviously. Nobody actually made a comment at you or like said anything at you. And also, there might be other black people in Greece who are not in that gym at that time, and they're probably working other jobs as well. Just because the only 3 black people you saw are cleaners, like, doesn't that make you racist for like just grouping all of them together? Also, who really cares about the racial makeup of the gym? Like, you're in Greece, like, if you want to see more black people, then go to Africa. Literally, who stopped it? This is such a dumb thing to complain about. It's always like playing the victim in some extremely stupid manner, whether it be, I don't know, random men staring at you or something like that. Obviously, she hasn't made it. I'm just talking about whatever. Not really gym girls. This is social media gym girls. Completely different from actual gym girls who just mind their own business, you know? Now, just to be fair, she does have one point where exposed to a certain area in different parts of the world. Okay, okay? That doesn't really make it racist. It just means that those people chose to go for those occupations. Now, are they being discriminated from other roles? That's another story to talk about. Obviously, not the post or whatever. So, as usual, Twitter is just and plays videos. Like, I don't understand how you can possibly complain about the racial that you chose to like, if you're mad about the lack of diversity, you think it's racist, leave. Now, somebody brought up a pretty good point here. Okay, so basically you're pointing out that other people will complain about, oh, this place is filled with only white people. But then when other places, like if you go to China and you go to a Chinese gym, I mean, like, it's gonna be filled with Chinese people. That's just how it works, because China is majority Chinese. That's just how it's gonna work. So obviously people are not gonna be complaining about that, because one, she didn't go there, and number two is because then it would look racist, right? Then it would actually look racist. She didn't complain about only Asians. Apparently we can do that about Greece, right? It's just weird. It's just weird. I just hate these sort of double standards. Like, if when you make a comment, right, and when you swap out the races and then it starts to look racist or whatever, then chances are your initial comment is probably the best. Okay, Stephen with the PA. Somebody's really proud of their degree. Okay, since people of African descent don't even make up 1% of Greece, since she does not see many of in there, I bet there are a whole lot of Native Americans or South Americans there either. They're not a whole lot. Probably not many people from Australia around either, right? It's not just black people. Like, you're not going to see people of other races. 80% are from Greece. Peter says, sorry, reality isn't like TV shows and commercials. 80% of people in Europe and America aren't black. Yeah, I mean, nowadays in TV shows, they really try to forcefully insert people in places that they simply don't belong. People are getting sick of it, honestly. So, you live in a first world European country, decked in a trendy gym outfit, snapping selfies in an Apple iPhone, and somehow life is difficult for you because other people that look like you but aren't you have other thoughts and prayers to you. I mean, fair point here. Now, I actually deleted third world country and America is like a first world. Probably the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I mean, I've not been to Greece, but I can assure you Greece is not a third world country. Holy shit. If you think Greece is a third world country, let me introduce you to a third world country. You need to actually go to a third world country and understand what kind of conditions people are living in there before you start name-calling that. As a Greek, I can tell you we are the nicest and kindest people. Maybe you fell on a ratio because the entire country is white. Probably 98% of it. You should just enjoy my land and not complain. Such a sad race-baiting post. Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, probably the thing that pissed me off the most is not even this whole thing. It's just it's a bad job. It's like I don't mean to offend you, but you're a stinky piece of shit. You know, it's like, goddamn, listen, I'm not gonna say the cleaning is the most like high-paying job or anything, but goddamn, it does deserve a level of pointing out as like, oh, like without cleaners, this world would freaking fall apart, dude. You know how many people like are out there like cleaning the roads all the time? Disappeared for a day or a couple weeks, like the world will be disgusting. It would be uninhabitable, literally. You simply just don't understand the level of work they actually put in, and you know, it might be regarded as a low-class job, but goddamn, dude, like there's a couple people that I talk to all the time, like when I go downstairs, there's a bunch of cleaners there, and my god, dude, they wake up early, and they're always there every single day, no matter what. They do their job, man. It's like this damn impressive. They do some of the dirty work. There's like getting rid of some like cockroaches that we would never ever want to do on like high-class people or whatever. Like it's just so respectable to me, and it's like poking fun at that is just, I don't know, shitty behavior in my opinion. I don't know, man. Put some respect on people's names and stop whining about problems that are not problems, okay? Not every single place in the world needs to be racially diverse, okay? Some places work perfectly fine with 100% of the population being one race. That might be controversial, or if like an American is hearing this or something like that, but some societies work best as a homogenous society with only one race. That's it. Let me know what you guys thought. Click this video. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
By Squarespace. Head over to squarespace.com/Drew to start your free trial.
Everyone is sick of social media
No, I wasn't talking about your hair. I was just saying in general that I... Dad, I'm gonna have to call you back. Hello there. It's go time. God damn you, Rooster. What's your name? The quiet guy. You can work with that. No one ever told you how. Sexy.
Literally all the time. Look, bitch, I have no interest in talking to you. I am merely here to advertise my services.
What kind of service?
Oh my god, shut up. I am here to tell people that my gorgeous glossy print is now available to be purchased at pictureofhotdog.com.
Is that even a real website?
Yes, you idiot, you made it. And don't worry, I also come naked.
See, guy, good news. The movies are back. After a year and a half of watching TV shows I've already seen, we're finally able to go to the theater. Bad news, all of the movies out right now are whether it's an Escape Room sequel or a G.I. Joe prequel, the one thing all these movies have in common is that most people wouldn't be watching them if they weren't. But no film has gotten more attention and criticism than Space Jam. To be fair, a lot of people enjoy this. Why now? What audiences liked about it? Especially a lot of people chiming in to say how much of a disgrace this movie was, how much it tainted the purity of the Space Jam brand. And I'm here to tell you that the first movie was also bad. Don't get me wrong, I still liked it. Hell, I kind of like this one too, but these aren't good films. This isn't the sequel to like Shawshank Redemption. Man, the first movie is a classic. Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins give the performances of their careers in this groundbreaking Oscar-nominated film. But then the second one was just a bunch of cartoons playing basketball. I'm not too thrilled about the direction this franchise is headed in. I made that one up, but it's really not that different from some of the actual IMDb reviews. Space Jam 2 just shoves a bunch of references and brand names down our throats. They only made this movie to shill merchandise, as opposed to the first Space Jam, which was a highbrow cinematic achievement that wasn't only created to sell toys, from which it made over $6 billion. I think that's perfectly valid criticism, and I will be criticizing both of these movies, but for all intents and purposes, Space Jam 1 and 2 are exactly the same. The only thing that's changed is our age while watching them. The first one was great because we saw it as dumbass little kids, and the second one is trash because now we're watching it as jaded adults. Now we have mature eyeballs and big smart brains that recognize things like product placement and lazy writing and bad pacing. If this movie was 30 minutes shorter, I think it would have been a lot more palatable, but in the last half of Space Jam 2, there are way too many emotional turning points where the action screeches to a halt so someone can give a long, dramatic monologue.
You understand how much I love you? Do you understand how important you are to me? How very special you are?
Wow, that's a really moving speech, LeBron. But I am gonna have to call a shot clock violation. You've been holding the ball for 4 minutes. I've seen a lot of people criticizing LeBron's acting skills or lack thereof, but you know who else was not a good actor? Michael Jordan.
What's going on here?
Which, by the way, is fine. They're professional athletes. They didn't go to theater school. In fact, I'd actually argue that as far as basketball players go, they did much better than expected.
Who had thought
About what?
that a young buck like you could actually do the right thing and avoid getting this sorry buck kicked out the game?
Another thing both these movies have in common is how darkly violent they can be at times. Like when Granny murdered Damian Lillard by aging him to death. That's honestly kind of fucked up. And also the premise for the new M. Night Shyamalan movie.
This idea is just straight up bad.
Also, spoiler alert, at the end of this movie, Bugs Bunny sacrifices his own life to save LeBron.
That's all, folks.
Did he just die? Did Bugs Bunny just die? I would say what's probably most confusing about Space Jam 2 is trying to figure out who exactly the movie is for. First and foremost, obviously, it's for kids, but kids don't really care about the Looney Tunes anymore, or Game of Thrones, or The Matrix, or King Kong, or basketball, really. But the script is mostly way too dumb for an adult watching by themselves to laugh at, so it does feel pretty messy and all over the place and overly referential. They've managed to pack into one movie.
Style point.
This rap battle in particular might just be one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Porky Pig, they call me P-double-L-G. Step to me, you don't want no trouble.
Yeah.
This pig is lit, I'm super legit.
Yeah.
And somehow it contributed to the score of the basketball game. That's not in the rules.
He was spitting hot fire. Yeah.
Overall, Space Jam 2 is a mildly enjoyable film to either watch or make fun. I wish it wasn't 115 minutes long, but the animation is actually really solid, and I could picture a 6-year-old having a good time, which really is the only bar this movie has. People seem to be up in arms about how this movie is big old dump all over the place. Like it's really Space Jam 1. I thought, why don't we actually go back and watch that one too and see what all the fuss is like. The movie gets off to a very rocky start by opening with I Believe I Can Fly, which was written and performed by hip-hop artist turned criminal R. Kelly. Then a very ambitious young Michael Jordan tells his dad all the things he's gonna do one day.
I want to play North Carolina. Then I want to play NBA. And once I've done all that,
I'm gonna play basketball at the Looney Tunes.
But I think I'm gonna go and play professional baseball.
Aw, man. So while Michael's having this press conference down on Earth, there's something evil cooking up in space. Specifically on Moron Mountain, which is in I don't know, that looked pretty fun to me.
Don't bring me here anymore, right? Don't bring me here anymore, right?
Are you listening? We need new attractions.
You may actually recognize this guy, not only as the main villain in this movie, but he also was a pretty successful action figure as the Njan company. So good for him. While he's trying to figure out what they should do, there's this great scene where his big, beautiful butt sits on a remote control.
Get the Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes!
Bring them here.
So just to recap, the premise of this classic film is that a well-dressed booger needs to kidnap the Looney Tunes so they can buy them obvious. Back on Earth, Michael is playing baseball now, and everyone around him is acting extremely weird.
It's good to be uniform. Can't teach it.
Yeah, you can't teach looking sexy as hell in a pair of pants. That has to come natural. I gotta say that it's kind of a theme throughout. Overall, this is a much hornier movie than I remember it being. For one, every single character is basically ruling all over Lola, who is a rabbit with boobs. After one interaction, Bugs' entire body goes stiff, which I think is supposed to be the second version of getting I get that. There's actually a lot of adult jokes they managed to sneak in.
Yeah.
One last question. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The little alien bitches go and find Bugs Bunny and tell him to rattle all his friends so they can steal them. Smooth-talking Bugs manages to negotiate
You've got to give us a chance to defend ourselves.
what they do.
Small arms.
Tiny little
Can't jump high.
step on it with our feet. Pretty good idea. Alright, that's not the way I would have done it, but whatever.
What's that?
Oh, this is gonna be a cakewalk. Not only are the aliens 6 inches tall, but they don't even know how to play. This should be an easy one. Assuming the aliens don't go and steal the athletic ability from 5 different combinations. Fuck. I like how this whole ordeal gets interpreted by the humans as if there's like a disease going around that's making all the best basketball players forget how to play basketball and also do most basic human functions. Michael sees all this happening on TV, and I love his attitude of sports anymore. He's too busy playing baseball and golf, like in this really weird scene with Bill Murray.
Great shot.
Nice shot.
Not bad.
Unfortunately, during the game, while 90s buffoon actor Wayne Knight is taking a picture of him, Michael gets sucked down a golf hole.
Not bad.
I wish I could take credit for the wording of that line, but I can't because that was how they verbatim described the incident in the movie.
Jordan being sucked down a golf hole.
And I love that. So that's how the Looney Tunes kidnapped Michael Jordan so he could save them. Who had probably already been kidnapped by the Mucinex guy. I forgot how weird this scene is. Their training facility is dirty, so everyone spits on it until it's clean.
Gas trap deployed.
Can you believe it?
Way better than the sequel. Meanwhile, all the b-ball stars who can't ball no more are feeling kind of sad. Charles Barkley is walking all somber down the neighborhood court while weirdly sexual music plays.
Hey, can I play?
Sure.
Not Charles Barkley. It's a wannabe who looks like him.
Get out of here, tall guy who just looks like Charles Barkley. Unfortunately, though, he's not doing better.
Has anyone here ever played basketball?
Maybe that's why they all get so turned on when they watch Michael.
Good man, beautiful.
A couple things I do have to appreciate about this film. Number one, the soundtrack is awesome. Perfectly length movie. 87 minutes, ideal for a kid's film. Do not waste my time. I would be curious though to see what percentage of that 87 minutes is them just sexualizing the hell out of Lola, because it's pretty bad. A couple minutes into the big game, and apparently it's already the second quarter. But it's becoming very clear that the old man and the silly cartoons are no match for the super mutant monsters. And they're not just losing, they're literally getting murdered.
Somebody's grounded.
And you know what? You could have done that to them when they were tiny, but no one listens to me. Also, I like how Yosemite Sam is just running around out there with a gun. Come on, you gonna use that thing or what? At this point, you could make a pretty good argument for self-defense. At halftime, they may be down big, but they're not out, because they all take turns drinking some of Michael's secret stuff, which is just tap water. But if you take the confidence and also use explosives and motor vehicles and, oh, there's some guns. Best of all, Stan finally gets to see some game action, which leads us to one of the ugliest scenes ever made in a movie. Specifically,
2 seconds ago,
and the Toon Squad just needs to steal the ball and score one basket before time runs out. This right here has got to be the least realistic part of the movie, because if this was a real basketball game, they would have to foul them, send them to the line, call a timeout, try to hit a three to tie it, probably miss, foul them again, send them to the line, hope that they miss free throws this time, but ultimately lose by 5. And that is what makes playoff basketball so exciting. Luckily, they don't have to do any of that because Bill Murray showed up to save the day.
Like him open!
Oh man, he's not gonna make it! Unless he stretches his arm out really far and drops it in just in time. Oh, we're playing this song again? And this one? Cool. They really got their money's worth with this soundtrack. So since the Toons won the game and the giant snot monster got banished back to SeaWorld, or whatever the name of the theme park was, there's only one thing left to do.
guys, we suck.
They have to get their talent back from the aliens. The talent that Michael put inside a ball. So now they have to touch the ball. Ugh, what is that thing?
Not touching that. Touch it. No way, Jose.
It's Michael.
You don't have any other choice. Just touch it. Touch the ball. Touch it.
You know what? On second thought, maybe don't touch it. He's being kind of weird about it.
Touch it. Stop it.
And that, fellas, is Space Jam. Beloved classic from our childhood that should probably stay there. Could Space Jam 2 have been better than it was? Yes, it definitely could have. But was it that much worse than the original? Not really. What I will say in defense of the naysayers is that Space Jam 1 seems like a dumb movie that accidentally became a massive cash cow, whereas Space Jam 2 is a dumb movie that was genetically engineered to be a massive cash cow. So it does feel a little different in that way, but at the end of the day, these are kids' movies. We're writing novels on IMDb about a movie that is made for 8-year-olds. What are we doing, guys? There's gotta be better ways to spend our time. Like maybe talking about my hot dog? I'm a basketball superstar. And I'm also founder and CEO of PicturesHotDog.com, the world's most technologically advanced website. It's been almost 2 years since I unleashed my wiener onto the world, and I think it's time to finally give the people what they want. High-resolution prints of the hot dog designed by Smile to yourself instead at PicturesHotDog.com/store, a website I made using today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you want to make a website for your business or just for fun, I can't recommend Squarespace enough. They have all the tools you need to make your dream a reality, even if you have little to no website building experience like I did. It's simple, it's intuitive, and there's tutorials all over YouTube on how to do some of the more advanced stuff, like adding video backgrounds or changing the little icon that you see on the pad. This is actually the second time I've used them for e-commerce. The first was ads, things like frisbee. I've got a lot of maybe not. But anyway, it's so easy to add products, descriptions, prices, shipping options, and a bunch of different payment methods so you can attract as many customers as possible. So if you're ready to take your business or hobby to the next level, go to squarespace.com for a 14-day free trial, and when you're ready to launch your brand new, beautiful website, use my promo code DREW for 10% off. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Instead of breaking into my house, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, it is so please comment down below your best offer. Mine, I do not accept it. I'll be back next time for another heated rant, this time about Space Jam 3, which is already out in the theater. For CBS News, this is Drew Gooden, wishing each and every one of you a happy Easter. Good night.
Ready, set, go!
Hey guys, welcome back to the Build a Bigger One. A few weeks ago I made a video about rock, and I realized while scrolling how many movies I had suppressed from my memory. It's so bizarre. Seeing all these random films from like 17 years ago and suddenly having an influx of nostalgia for something I hadn't thought about in years. When I was a kid, all I did was watch Disney Channel and Nickelodeon. That was it. There was no YouTube back then. We didn't have books, and my parents were very strict about what they would let me watch on TV. I wasn't even allowed to watch Cartoon Network until I was 13. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I guess they were trying to shelter me from the harsh reality of the real world, but it didn't work. I still know all the curse words now, like crud and ass. I mean, I don't say anymore, but sometimes my friends do. But anyway, the thing about Disney Channel, at least back then, I don't know if this is still true, is that they didn't play commercials. They would have commercial breaks, of course, but they would use that only to advertise other Disney programs. So even if there was a movie that I only saw once, I would see the trailer for it like 50 times while watching other Disney shows. So all of the lines from the trailer would end up ingrained in my brain, and to this day, there's nothing I can do to get rid of them.
Wow, he's amazing!
And get ready to rock. And what they don't know is that the whole country is watching now.
This is better than wrestling!
This baseball piece is Eddie is cooking.
No, he's really cooking. The other thing I realized over the past couple weeks while Amanda and I have been taking turns sitting at the TV and saying, I remember that, is, holy shit, some of these movies aged like especially saying things in 2002 that have been problematic by today's standards, although there are a couple of examples of that. But for me, it's also just because of some of the actors in these movies. A perfect example of what I'm talking about is Stuck in the Cellar. So this was a Disney Channel movie about a pop star staying in a small town who loses his cell phone, so his assistant has to spend the entire movie I know it sounds dumb when I put it like that, but don't worry, that's not the the only reason why. The thing is, I know Taron Killam from 3 things and only Saturday Night Live, The Amazing Show, and this movie. Everything else I've ever seen him in has been satirical. Dozens of sketches and commercial parodies, so it is so funny to try and watch this movie, which now looks like an 82-minute SNL sketch, and try to take him seriously. Think of all the actors to play this misunderstood teenage heartthrob pop star. It's the guy from Njan. It's so bizarre to watch, especially, I would genuinely love to ask him about this movie if he was excited for it, and he was just like, well, I guess I should do it because I'm not getting a lot of other acting work. Or maybe he thought that this is the direction his career would go, and he would start doing more action roles like this. It actually be kind of ironic if he did, because that's the arc of his character in the movie. He keeps doing all these things because he thinks he's supposed to sing sappy boy band music. The best scene in the movie, hands down, is this little
Charging on my shields.
That's so wonderful. The horrible editing and then the abrupt cut. I counted, there's only 8 different shots that they're using, but they keep laying them over each other to make it seem like there's hundreds. Even in just the 3x3 grid, they were already reusing a shot. I always forget with most Disney Channel movies how minuscule the budgets probably were. You sort of have this expectation of like a feature film, but it's shot on a TV budget. So looking back, some of them are just unwatchable now. Do you guys remember Tiger King? It's actually a pretty wild idea for a movie. It's based on 9/11. All the children of Navy sailors. Why are we on a boat? And then 9/11 happened, and I'm like, wow, actually the military is important. Violence is we should go to war. Pretty heavy concept for a Disney movie. So it's too bad that they shot like 80% of it in front of a green screen because, oh my god, it looks like shit. The crazy thing about this to me is that the entire movie has one setting. The boat. All they needed was one boat. But I guess why worry about that when you got a perfectly good one right here? Another movie I was excited to check out again was Now You See. I don't know if you guys saw this. Most people didn't, but I remember loving this movie as a child. I couldn't remember what it was about though, so I decided to check out a couple scenes last night, and
Amigos, let's go here.
these...
Danny, the ring! It's the last piece of the puzzle! Gotta use it against Max!
Maybe the ending is good?
How did I get here?
It's God's magic.
You know, I still don't know how you do that.
A good magician never reveals the secrets of his tricks.
Show off.
Magic. But I know why you guys are here. You don't want to hear about outdated special effects. You trying to see that offensive shit. You trying to cancel Disney. And I don't know about all that, but there is a pretty long list of hard to defend decisions they've made throughout the years. Peter Pan has a racist ass song. Dumbo got some racist ass. It's a movie about a girl who falls in love with the animal who kidnapped her. And I know, those movies are old as hell. Things were different back in the 50s and the 90s. But there's another movie that came out when I was 10 that did not age well. Freaky Friday came out in 2003, and it's a remake of a film adaptation of a book. This movie was huge. And it did a lot to reestablish Jamie Lee Curtis as not only a comedic actress, but also an eventual yogurt salesman. For the most part, this is a pretty solid movie. It's got some funny lines. It's probably Lindsay Lohan's best acting performance. There is just one thing I forgot about though, and it's how they switched bodies. In the original Freaky Friday, they just like made a wish out loud and then the special effects took it from there.
I wish I could switch places with her for just one day.
In the 2018 version, they did this.
I hate you.
I hate your attitude. Great comeback, Mom.
I don't need to live a large, I just...
Side note, I had no idea this movie was a musical, so imagine my surprise when they burst into song. But in the 2003 version, the switch happens while they're arguing at a Chinese restaurant, and the owner overhears them, gives them some magic fortune cookies, and then there's an earthquake and they wake up in each other's bodies.
What was she mumbling about in Chinese?
She did something. Some strange Asian voodoo.
A prominent movie reviewer at the time called this some strange racist bullshit. And still the movie went on to make over $160 million. I guess it just kind of serves as an unfortunate reminder of how prominent Asian stereotypes were in American movies, even not that long ago. How normal it was to see these exaggerated characters using super strong accents that the actors playing them didn't even have. And in this case, the writers really only used them as a plot device to justify the body switch. It's like, well, we don't really know that much about Chinese people, so they can probably do magic. Luckily, we've come a long way since then in terms of representation in movies, or at least we were coming a long way until Little Italy came out in 2018 and set us back like 3 decades. Hey, speaking of 3 decades ago, let's take a trip back to the year 1994 and talk about a very weird movie called Blank Check. It's not so much that this movie didn't age well, it's more that it probably never should have been made in the first place. This movie takes place in a world where money is the only thing that can make you happy.
What do you want for your birthday?
Money.
So, you gonna have fun today?
How can I, Dad? I don't have any money.
And if you're poor, all the other kids are gonna make fun of you for that. Like when Preston goes to an amusement park with his friends, his dad only gives him a measly $6, so he can't afford to go on any of the cool rides with them. He has to go on the lame-ass merry-go-round while they point and laugh at him. And things continue to suck for Preston until an evil villain runs over his bike and then gives him a blank check.
Give this to your dad, he'll know what to do with it.
But he doesn't give it to his dad. Instead, he just writes $1 million and then takes it to the bank and cashes it on the spot. Now, the thing that Preston hates more than anything in the world is the fact that he lives at home with his family. He wants his own house. So using some sort of computer program, he calls a real estate agent who's in the middle of selling this mansion to someone for $150,000. He starts outbidding the guy and eventually buys it for $300,000. Now, if you're curious, this is a real house that really exists. On Realtor.com, it is estimated to have a value of $4.1 million. He got it for $300,000, but you can't forget about inflation. It's been about 25 years, so that makes sense. But the funniest part of this transaction is not just that he got it for $300,000, it's the fact that he's just using some shady computer voice over the phone, and the owners of the house are like, yep, we'll take it.
We'll take it.
I don't need to meet this person, I don't need to know their name, we will take the offer from the mysterious robot voice. Then he realizes he can't use his real name to buy the house, so he has to come up with an alter ego. What's it gonna be?
Bingo.
Macintosh. Because he saw the word Macintosh. But again, I know this all sounds pretty normal so far for a kid's movie, but here's where it gets fucked up. One of the things on Preston's wish list, besides the house that he just bought for a fraction of market value, is a girlfriend. Sounds like a pretty easy task for someone with $1 million cash. Just buy a nice gift for a cute girl your age, or plan a nice romantic dinner for a cute girl your age, or he could just fall in love with an adult woman, and then that will be the love interest for the entire movie. Yeah, that seems like a good decision.
I'll see you next time.
I hope it's not in a million years.
So then they go on a date.
Oh, wow.
What's the shortest guy you ever dated?
I'm not really sure.
The youngest?
And they're just really hitting it off.
Mr. McIntosh is very interested in me.
He is? Oh, wow.
So let's take things outside. Maybe run through a fountain together? Stop. Stop it.
It was really fun. And, I had such a good time.
Me too.
Good night, Preston.
Good night, Shay.
Oh, thank God. For a moment there, I thought they were gonna kiss. It's a good thing they didn't, because that would be weird. Meanwhile, the evil villain who gave him $1 million wants to get the $1 million back because he didn't actually want to give him $1 million. He thought it would just be like 50 bucks. So when he sees the kid out riding his bike, a chase ensues.
Your butt is mine, kid!
Interesting word choice.
Butt is mine!
You might be wondering how an 8-year-old kid can get away with living at another mansion all the time and suddenly having a bunch of expensive things. Like, what do his parents think is going on? Well, here's what he tells them. He tells them that he got a job. They think that he's working for some mysterious man named Mr. McIntosh, who in reality we know is actually just Preston. So they're just like, okay, cool. Glad you're spending all day at the house of a man we've never met while he gives you a bunch of expensive things. No red flags have been raised. These are the world's best parents.
I'm having a party.
Anyway, now it's time for that party that Preston wants to throw for the sole purpose of having something to invite the woman to. But would you look at this? He's out of money. He had $1 million, he spent all of it, and it has been 3 days. Anyway, the FBI shows up and arrests all the bad guys, and now that he doesn't have any money left, Preston pretty much just returns to a normal life. Okay, so I guess it wasn't that weird of a movie. I was probably exaggerating. Wait, what are you doing?
So that means our date? Just for your job?
Well, it started out like that.
What's going on there?
Hey, you know, I wouldn't have traded that night for anything.
So when can I see you again, Shay?
Why don't you give me a call and say about 10 years? 5. 7.
6.
50.
Okay. It's a date.
She couldn't just kiss him on the cheek or give him a high five? Why did they put this on Disney Plus? Why wouldn't they try to suppress this forever, lock it away in a vault and never speak of it again? Anyway, I give Blank Check 5 stars. One movie I think that actually did age well is Smart House. That shit came out in 1999, and like Nakey Jakey said in his video about DComs, it's like watching an episode of Black Mirror. I feel like that movie is the reason that I'm so against buying like an Alexa or a Google Home. If your house can think for itself and make decisions and has a robot arm, it's going to turn on you. I don't make the rules, that's just what happens. In fact, can you turn the video up for a second? Just a little bit? Perfect. Alexa, self-destruct. Sorry, I had to do it. Trust me, guys, you don't need a device in your own home that's listening to you at all times just so we can turn around and sell that information. No, hold on. Oh, I just got an ad for anal beads. What are the odds? I was just texting my wife about that. Anyway, what was I saying?
Your butt is mine, kid!
Well, it's been a long day so far, guys. What do you say we cleanse our palate with a good old-fashioned brand deal? Aye. I'll give you 2 hours to try and guess what brand I'm about to advertise.
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
Man, my shirt gave it away.
Look,
Look,
wait,
guy,
what?
I get it. You already know all about how a virtual private network masks your IP address and encrypts your online data, making it so internet ne'er-do-wells and even your internet service provider can't collect your private information and then turn around and sell it. So I won't bore you by telling you all about that again. I promise I won't say any of that. I know that you're just upset because you live in Canada and you can't watch the John Oliver clip I posted on Twitter because for some reason it's blocked in your phone. I'm just saying if you had ExpressVPN, all you'd have to do is click this button and then change your location to like Texas or something. I don't care. And just like that, even Canadians can watch a British person talk about America. ExpressVPN has server locations in 94 different countries, opening up your internet to literally an entire world full of possibilities. I use this feature all the time to watch shows like Friends on Netflix, or back when basketball was on, I would use it to change my location so I could watch local games that were blacked out. It's a long story. I don't want to talk about it. I miss sports. Please come back. ExpressVPN has consistently faster speeds than other VPNs out there. They also have 24/7 customer support and a 30-day money-back guarantee in case anything goes wrong. To find out how you can get 3 months free of ExpressVPN, click the link in the description. That's expressvpn.com/Drew. Take back your internet privacy today. Or tomorrow if you're busy. But you should do it soon. That guy's awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching today's video, guide. I'm sorry if I brought back some memories that you didn't think you still had. As I promised in my last video, I'm going to be donating money for every video that I upload this month. This week, it is the Oprah Project. You can read more about them in the description. They're a collective that helps black trans people. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please don't. I'm so tired of people doing that. It's really getting on my nerves, and if you try to do it, I will be contacting the FBI. Sorry. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next week for another video where I swap bodies with my dad, and things get pretty crazy. All right, bye.
Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
Hey guy, welcome back to NASA headquarters. Today is December, which means it's time for Christmas movies, almost all of which are bad. Sure, there's a few gems, Home Alone, The Santa Claus, Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever. These are all critically acclaimed, as they should be, but for every good Christmas movie, I swear there's gotta be like 200 bad ones. A lot of that has to do with the Hallmark movie factory, where they mass produce semi-attractive white couples to recreate the same film 100,000 times. After which, I assume they put them down and replace them with new actors. That's just the circle of life. But even though Hallmark movies are easy to make fun of for their formulaic simplicity, you gotta admit, their business model works. Their brand is synonymous with the holiday season. On the other hand, you have companies like Netflix, who this time of year wanna be like Hallmark so bad, but absolutely suck at it. First up, we got Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square, a musical starring Dolly Parton as a glowing hobo. Seems like even her biggest fans couldn't find a way to enjoy this mess. The best thing I saw someone say about it is that it's a good movie to watch while you clean your bathroom.
Christmas on the Square.
It looks like I won't be cleaning my bathroom anytime soon. Up next, we've got A California Christmas.
We have 3 weeks. If not, the deal falls apart before Christmas.
Hannah, where's the water?
They seem to be going for the reverse Hallmark here, where a businessman falls in love with a small town woman. And they say Hollywood's not progressive.
I'm sorry.
You forgot your hat.
You lied about who you are.
Kelly, I had no idea who I was until I met you.
No, you don't understand, cowgirl. I used to like big city, but now I meet you. I like small town Christmas fun. For me, horse ate my shirt, let's ride the horse. This one's not out yet, but luckily I can just click this little button here to be notified when it's time to cancel my subscription. Now I'm gonna list off some other Netflix Christmas movies, and you let me know if you notice the theme here. Christmas with a Prince, A Christmas Prince, A Christmas Prince, The Royal Wedding, A Christmas Prince, The Royal Baby, The Princess Switched, A Princess for Christmas, The Princess Switched Again Part 2, The Night Before Christmas, and Prince of Peoria, A Christmas Moose Miracle. For some reason, all 9 of these movies revolve around a royal family, and almost half of them star Vanessa Hudgens. The Princess Switch is probably the most notorious one here. It's your classic Princess and the Pauper, Parent Trap kind of situation, where Vanessa Hudgens and her twin, Vanessa Hudgens, no relation, switch places before realizing that maybe the grass isn't greener on the other side. Just kidding, they love it. Nothing goes wrong, and now they're both princesses. Also, one of them's British.
Keep calm and carry on.
To be clear though, she's not the princess of Britain. She doesn't live in Britain, she just is British. I know it doesn't make too much sense, but half the people in Star Wars were British and they lived in space, so I'll let this one slide. I would say the most annoying part of this movie is how boring the prince is. I understand why Princess Vanessa didn't want to marry him, so she ran away to Chicago, but American Vanessa fucking loves him.
I love you more than I've ever loved anyone my whole life.
They met 3 days ago. Maybe she hit her head when she fell off that horse, I don't know. But they don't seem to have anything in common.
Write me down!
Weird.
You sound like my grandmother.
Meanwhile, falls in love with a guy that the real American Vanessa had been friends with, and they have a pretty decent relationship. He's charismatic, he's like a good dad, and she is just mesmerized by his torso.
Have you ever seen Kevin with his shirt off? Ew. Ew, Kevin? No. But Edward... You and Kevin aren't an item.
Ew, have I ever
Op 4
dated
eliminated.
my handsome
Mission
best
successful.
friend? No. I like him. But he's like if a blank piece of paper was a person, yeah.
This is crazy.
If you thought that movie was crazy, the real fun begins in The Princess Switched Again Part 2, where we're introduced to a third Vanessa Hudgens, only this one is evil.
Off with their heads.
Yeah, people are gonna die.
Minions, I need more champagne.
Really related to you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're related.
You're yummy.
The next scene looks like one of those infomercials where the actor has to try really hard to spill something on themselves so they can make the product look useful.
There's the sugar behind the flour.
I'll get it.
It's quite all right.
Ah, it'd be easier if I get it. The other
I
thing.
told you.
Has this ever happened to you?
You're not just about to become the Queen of Montanaro. You've also become the Queen of my heart.
Somebody wrote that, and then they put it in the movie. You know what, I'm just gonna skip to the end.
To love and support you in everything that you do. And maybe someday teach you how to make a hot chocolate.
Crap, I don't understand that reference because I didn't actually watch the movie. Just try and act natural. I'm just excited for the next sequel to come, when they all have kids, who I assume will also be played by Vanessa Hudgens.
What news?
As bad as the Princess Switch movies are, I really think they have nothing on this next one. This is the other Netflix movie that also has Vanessa in it, and it is so unbelievably dumb. So this movie is set in the 1300s, and also 2019. You see, Sir Cole over here wants to become a knight, but he can't until he completes the quest given to him by this old crone.
Old crone?
Her name in the movie actually is Old Crone. What if there was more than one Old Crone? How would you tell them apart? Also, what is an old crone? Well, in folklore, a crone is an old woman who may be disagreeable, malicious, or sinister in manner, often with magical or supernatural associations that can make her either helpful or obstructive. As a character type, the crone shares characteristics with the hag. What a description. Anyway, the old crone sends him on a quest, which is, for some reason, 700 years in the future.
You shall travel to faraway lands, see things undreamed of.
Seems a little random to me. What, did they run out of medieval things to do? All right, gather around, gentlemen. Come get your quests. Okay, you young men, you're going to fetch an enchanted sword as the prince. And you're going to scale the highest mountain and slay the dragon who lives on the top. And you're gonna date a middle school teacher. So she sends him to 2019, and he's hella confused, obviously.
Selfie?
Ricky, what might that be doing?
Let's see who's nearby.
Thank you.
Did you notice anything about that shot? Well, let's see. He went from being in the middle to being on the end. And where the hell did that merry-go-round come from? Not that continuity is important or anything, we're just making a movie. Also, the old crone time travel here too, I guess this makes her doing his job. But she's posing as Mrs. Claus, and wouldn't the guy playing Santa be a little confused that she just appeared out of nowhere? Like, wait a minute, where did you come from? Get away from those children. You share characteristics with the hag. It must be like the easiest thing in the world to write a Christmas movie because nothing has to make sense. Christmas is a time for magic and wonder and plot holes, but
If you believe, anything's possible.
as a result of that logic, these writers think that they can do anything and no one's allowed to question it. But I will question it. I am a professional movie nitpicker. I am the second most annoying kind of detective, behind those people who brag about noticing typos in deleted tweets. Anyway, later that night, she runs him over in her car.
I hit him with my car.
Which I gotta say is one of the more aggressive meet cutes I've ever seen, but luckily he's alright because he's wearing a literal suit of armor.
I think he hit his head.
Sir Cole believes that he's 8 points.
You are not sleeping under a tree when I have an empty guest house you can stay in.
Vanessa decides at this point that the strange man she just met, who she believes is suffering from a brain injury and is armed with a sword, should stay with her in her home. There's an idea that couldn't end badly. Good thing she has an entire guest house for him to stay in, because, you know, she's a teacher, and we all know how well teachers get paid.
You scared away my supper.
Skunk. I feel like even a knight from the 1300s wouldn't look at a skunk and think, I'm gonna eat that. But he's still hungry, so they go to Denny's.
Hot dog.
Delicious. Another one, wench.
Whoa. Okay, Sir Cole, that's kind of an offensive term.
Cole, you're being rude. We prefer to call them hags. So then he spends all night watching TV and I guess learns some of the modern dialect.
What do you think of these awesome new threads?
Modern technology is lit AF.
He doesn't talk like that at all the rest of the movie. It's just for that scene because it's funny, or I mean lit.
We tweeted ours.
The next day, he chops down a tree with one swing, and then Vanessa lets him drive her car. Yep, the guy who spent the last 3 days talking like a Shakespeare play, who doesn't have a license and clearly has never been in a car before the night you met him. Sure, let him drive your car around by himself. Why stop there? Give him a gun too. See what more havoc he can wreak. Side note, time moves very fast in this movie. There are entire days that are only like 3 minutes long. On December 19th, they wake up, start watching TV, and then it's nighttime, and then they fall asleep, and then it's the morning again. December 21st, she sends Cole and her niece outside to hit each other with sticks, and they do it until it's dark.
That's called fist bump.
The next morning, Vanessa comes outside to see Cole beating up her lawn ornaments, and she's just like, Oh, you. What a goofball. And I guess her neighbor was really impressed by his moves because she comes over and starts flirting with him.
Actually, just popped by to see if you were free tonight to do some Christmas caroling with friends.
I mean, shit, if I saw a homeless man winning a fight with plastic, I'd probably ask him on a date too.
Lady Allison seems to have you green with envy.
Okay, first off, she ain't no lady. In high school, she was voted biggest flirt.
You see, Sir Cole, here in 2019, we don't call women wenches. We merely imply that they are one. I will say Cole is a very nice guy, which is probably why Vanessa and the police let him get away with literally anything. But he teaches the girl about kindness, and then he saves her life when she wanders onto a lake in the middle of a snowstorm. And then he and Vanessa share a little Christmas romance.
The dough will fail to rise if you continue to wrest it like a dragon slayer.
Why can't I get my printer to connect? Need a hand? No, I'm good. Shh. Don't
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing
This
its
isn't
location.
helping.
Loves them.
Pickpocket!
Should we let him keep his hands?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, you're turning into quite the natural at this game, Cole. No, you should consider joining the force.
Wait, so this cop is well aware of how insane Cole is. He just watched him use excessive force on a teenager, and so he asked him to join the police
5 seconds
force?
to go.
This movie's more realistic than I thought. They were about to kiss, but they got interrupted. I wonder if that same exact thing is gonna happen again 7 minutes from now. It did. All right, third time's a charm. But of course, the old crone, whose motives I'm starting to question, is just staring at them creepily in the background.
Pull your medallion.
This thing's glowing. That means he did his quest. They figured it out. The quest was to kiss her. Still kind of weird, but they did it. They're in love. It's beautiful. They can finally live happily ever after. Wait, where is he going? Oh, he got sent back to the 1300s. Let me make sure I understand the stakes of this movie. So he was banished to go to the future, which he loves because it's awesome.
Like deck the halls.
Deck the halls. And if he didn't complete his quest in time, he would have been stuck there forever, where he'd be forced to continue living happily with Vanessa Hudgens. But because he did kiss her before Christmas, he completed his quest, and his reward is that he gets to go back to his kingdom, where he'll probably die in his 30s. Yeah, that makes sense.
Brother?
Jeffrey.
Wait, did they just do a bro hug? He seemed so confused by a fist bump earlier, but I get it. That's his ride or die right. Obviously, he wants to go back, though, so he's got to find the old crone again.
Crone! Oh, crone! Beg thee, crone. I will do. Very well.
That problem resolved itself in like a minute and a half.
It's cold! It's reinforced!
Delighting in your company.
Cole, I thought you were
The diffuser is no longer in your possession.
I found someone else. I was gone for an hour. You have to move on, Cole. Well, it wouldn't be a rom-com if it didn't end with all the extras clapping for the main characters because they have nothing better to do. Oh. Did not expect that. Another thing I didn't expect was a random post-credit scene.
You truly are a handsome young knight.
Sir Geoffrey Alexander Edward Lyons. Actually.
Oh, the old crone is at it again. Are they hinting at a sequel? Is there going to be like a whole Marvel universe of knights being sent in the future? Only they all go to Vanessa Hudgens. And she's just like, guys, I'm taken. You should know this. It was your brother. I give this movie a D. D's nuts. Before you unsubscribe, I just want to touch on one last movie. It's called Holiday, starring Emma Watson. It just came out. Amanda and I watched the entire thing, and I don't really have anything funny to say about it. I just need to rant about it for a sec because this movie pissed us the hell off. So the premise is that Emma Watson is tired of her family judging her when she comes home boyfriendless every Christmas. So she meets this guy who like lives at the mall, and they decide that he'll pretend to be her boyfriend only on holidays so her mom gets off her back. Here's the thing though. The mom doesn't like him. She still spends the rest of the movie trying to set her up with someone else. Also, they go on holidays, not even in front of her family, which I thought was the whole point. So at this point, they're just friends with benefits, except without the benefits, and also they're not friends. And I'm sure you can see where this is going. They eventually start to like each other, but they don't want to admit that they like each other, and that's like the main conflict of the movie. Emma Watson also shits her pants on Halloween because her aunt accidentally gave her laxatives instead of Advil. You know, when you bring a giant bottle of laxatives to a Halloween party just in case you decide it's time to go have diarrhea in public. Shit, I haven't pooped in almost 15 minutes. I must be constipated. Then on Thanksgiving, this random guy comes over and immediately tries to eat the turkey out of the oven with his hands. The turkey's clearly done already, but they put it back in the oven, and surprise, surprise, they burn all the food. So Emma has to go to the store, which is open on Thanksgiving, and she's buying like waffles for some reason, and Ryan Gosling is there. And then she goes back home and it's dark outside, so she's been gone all day while they were all waiting, and they all start to fight, and then this guy has a heart attack, so they go to the hospital where, sorry, I'm out of breath, where the aunt tells the doctor that she loves him, and then they kiss. Also, Emma's sister cheats on her husband with King Batch, and they use it as the catalyst to fix their broken relationship. No! This poor guy, who doesn't have any time for her anymore because he's too busy being the only one to take care of their 4 children, gets cheated on with the Vine star, which, yeah, I know that's kind of insulting, and she's just like, oopsie, and everything's okay. No. Fuck that. These people suck. None of them deserve a happy ending. And why the hell did they spend so much time at the mall? Nobody goes to the mall anymore. I guess what I'm trying to say is Netflix, try hard. Christmas is good. Christmas movies should be good too. I know you can make good stuff. I watched The Chess Show. I liked Stranger Kids. Put some of that effort into a holiday movie that doesn't suck, and then maybe I won't have to go watch Lifetime instead. What are they working on right now? You know, on second thought, I don't think I'm gonna be celebrating Christmas anymore. Don't cut back to me, cut to the commercial. Hi, I'm soaking wet, and I want to tell you guys about today's sponsor, ExpressVPN. This holiday season, you deserve to watch a good Christmas movie, and as we talked about, the American Netflix library is just not cutting it. But you don't have to hop in a submarine and escape the country just to be able to watch something else. You can just use a VPN. With ExpressVPN, you can change your computer's location to one of 94 different countries, thereby unlocking content that you thought you might not be able to watch. Want to watch Fred Claus? Switch to Australia. Christmas with the Cranks? Switch to The Hague, the Netherlands. Don't settle for a go-go Corey Carson Christmas. You deserve better than that. ExpressVPN can also help keep your important information safe by encrypting your data every time you connect to the internet. This prevents the websites you visit and even your internet service provider from taking that information and selling it off to the highest bid. Personally, I've tried a few different virtual private networks in the past, and ExpressVPN is the only one that didn't throttle my connection. You shouldn't have to sacrifice that just to have a secure connection. And of course, they also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support. You can use it on your computer, on your phone, on your Apple TV. You'll be unstoppable. So to find out how you can get 3 months free of ExpressVPN, click the link in the description. That's expressvpn.com/Brent. Thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you want to subscribe to my channel, go to how do I get to Google? Google. Crap, I think I'm stuck.
Jammer ready to activate.
Search. I guess I'll search YouTube for Google. Maybe they have. Google.
I'm reloading!
Hey guys, very good. I got a question. What 2 things do the following phrases have in common? That's right. Not only are they bullet points used to describe the plot of a very weird dream I had last night, but they're also actual names of movies. I love Christmas. That's why we put our tree up on like November 15th. But I will say it kinda sucks that my favorite holiday will forever be associated with something called Santa with muscles. It's absurd. But the reason films like this exist and why they all have such ridiculous titles is because we simply run out of Christmas movies to make. You could come up with any holiday-related plot right now, make up a title for it, and I promise you, that movie already exists. Like maybe you want to do something like, instead of Home for the Holidays, it's Homeless for the Holidays, right? A guy maybe gets laid off from his job, and he's worried he's gonna lose his house, but Christmas. Said it was about these infants, right?
All friendlies have been neutralized.
But the magic of Christmas. Oh wait, I've got one. A postal worker. Yeah, no, I thought that sounded familiar. Nowhere is the overabundance of Christmas movies more prevalent than on the various Hallmark channels. That's right, there's 3 of them. But we're currently in the midst of their annual Countdown to Christmas, where they release a new movie every day, despite the fact that you could just watch one Hallmark Christmas movie over and over again and it would be the same experience. But you know what? It doesn't matter what I think about these films because they are a goldmine for Hallmark. I read somewhere that they bring in about $500 million every year just from cranking these things out. It's truly a factory of content.
Be ready to eliminate
Normally you
hostiles.
would look at a process like this and think that something so mass-produced would result in a lack of quality, but weirdly it doesn't seem to matter with Hallmark movies. See, unlike other movies, Christmas movies don't necessarily have to be good for people to enjoy them. They just have to make them feel good. They just have to feel like Christmas. And it seems like for a lot of people, all you need to accomplish that is 2 lead actors who meet the threshold for being attractive to fall in love in a random small town. That's Hallmark, baby. The Hallmark movie craze is so crazy that they now do fantasy Hallmark movies. You know, like fantasy football, but instead of drafting NFL players, you draft, and this is real, a team of Christmas movies. The goal is to pick the movies that get watched the most, and apparently first place gets... Gonna be hard to narrow it down here. There's a lot to choose from. You've got white couple in front of Christmas tree, white couple in front of Christmas tree, and of course white couple in front of Christmas tree. I like how they've completely given up on even trying to make these movies look different. All right, guys, hear me out. I was thinking for the poster, we have the guy wear green, and the girl wear red. Yeah! Yes. I love it! Let's do that for all of them. I feel pretty good about my team. I think I'll throw double points on the shoe movie because Candace Cameron is in it and she's like the queen of Hallmark movies. Hopefully I can beat this other guy. He's got Patrick Mahomes on his team, so gonna be a tough matchup, but I think I can pull it out. I also just realized I'm like 6 weeks late to this, so even if I pick perfectly, I don't think I'll be catching up anytime soon. You know what? I'm gonna say it though. This is kind of a cool thing. I'm not gonna lie. It's incredibly silly, but it's a pretty smart way to get people invested in this movie. It kind of incentivizes people who are already a fan of these movies to just have the Hallmark channel on 24/7. There's a cash prize in it. And they do stuff like this pretty regularly. Earlier this year, I remember Amanda telling me about their March Madness tournament where you could fill it out and vote for the all-time best Hallmark movie. In fact, it was while filling one out myself where I learned that Billy Ray Cyrus has been in not 1, but 2 Hallmark movies. The first one, which came out in 2009, is a pretty well-known movie that attempted to tackle themes of race relations and maintaining friendships through adversity. And then the second one was about Billy Ray Cyrus falling in love with his daughter. The other thing I learned while taking part in this tournament is that Hallmark movies are a lot of fun. So I decided to make one. That's right, baby. It's time for Christmas Movie The Game, America's most beloved game show, premiering today for the first time. As always, I'm your lovely wife, Amanda. Amanda, word on the street is you only agreed to do this because I'm driving you to the airport later. Here to come.
15 seconds.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so here's how this game works.
eliminated.
Very straightforward. I'm going to give you 2 movies. One of them is real. One of them I made up. If you guess one that's fake, you get a point. But if you guess wrong, I get 100 points. And there's only 4 questions, so you really don't want to get one wrong. It's going to be pretty much impossible to catch up.
Is there a bonus round?
Yes, it's also worth 1 point. They're going to start off pretty easy, but they get a little bit harder as they go. So let's start. Round 1, question 1. Which one of these is fake? Snow Bride. A tabloid reporter lies her way into getting invited to a family's holiday celebrations and then feels bad after falling in love with one of them. Or is it Snow White? A tabloid reporter lies her way into getting invited to a holiday party thrown by 7 polygamous dwarves and then marries all but one.
Anyways, തൽക്കാലത്തേക്ക് നിർത്തുക. നാളെ ഞാൻ കറക്റ്റ് സമയത്തിന് എത്തുകയാണെങ്കിൽ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ സ്ക്രീൻ ഇടാം. പതിവ് പോലെ ഗുഡ് ബൈ, ജിജീസ് ആൻഡ് ടു ബി കണ്ടിന്യൂഡ്.